في البداية أقدم نفسي ياسين صدام، مطور برمجيات فلاتر، GDG سوس كورجنايزر، وفلاتر تونيزيا كوفاوندر. أشتغل فول تايم كموبايل ديفلوبر في فلاتر. اليوم راح يكون عنا إن شاء الله introduction لل دارت، لغة البرمجيات دارت، اللي هي وراء عمل فلاتر. أوكي. ف باظن إنكم قمتوا بsession لل oriented object programming. إن شاء الله تكونوا استفدتوا. وأنا راح نقوم اليوم small workshop نكتشف مع بعض لغة دارت، لغة البرمجية دارت. ابدأ بسمول، يعني نبذة تاريخية صغيرة على دارت. دارت هو لغة برمجيات تم تطويره من قبل جوجل. بدأ البروجكت في 2011. 2013 كان الفيرست ستيبل ريليز. كان في بروجكت اسمه انجولار دارت. الانجولار نعرفه، ولكن بالدارت، لكن هذا البروجكت ما نجح. فبعد لما الفلاتر تيم قرر انهم يقوموا بفلاتر، فلا يلزمهم يختاروا programming language. فشوفوا يعني لغات البرمجة المتاحة في جوجل، ووقع الاختيار على دارت. من مميزات دارت، ولا ما هي أسباب اختيار دارت؟ لأنه دارت خلّينا نقولوا optimized ويعني optimized هي أصح كلمة للUI development. أوكي، هو يعني صُمِّم لبناء واجهات مستعملة. أوكي. وبعد لمّا صار الflutter، ويعني الDart هو الآن maintained من الflutter team، اللي هو flutter and Dart team. اسم الteam. هُم خلّينا نقولوا يعني بي بيرعاوا ويقدموا الإضافات في لغة Dart والflutter مع بعض. وهذا يخلّي يعني لمّا يكون عندك framework مثل flutter، وتكون لغة البرمجة عندك ليها access، خلّينا نقول 100%، بيكون يعني الprogress سريع وأفضل. وهذا خلّينا نشوفوا كثير تطوير في لغة Dart. الحاجة خلّينا نقولوا الأخرى المهمة في Dart يمكنك من إنه you compile الكود تبعه compiled not interpreted like Python for example. هو compiled compiled to machine code. أوكي، binary خلّينا نقول حسب الarchitecture تبع الprocessor. أوكي. النقطة الثانية، في one exception هي للweb platform. الweb platform بيصير compilation للJavaScript. There is something called Dart2JS compiler اللي يcompile الكود من Dart لJavaScript. البقية هو binary code depend من الarchitecture تبع الprocessor. في باظن أوكي. ماكو عرف. ما فهمت السؤال، عفوًا. أوكي. لأ، ما فيش presentation، لإنه راح يكون في coding. هي just small introduction، يعني راح يكون فيها 2 slides. فلذلك ما قمت بpresentation PowerPoint. أوكي. آآ لحد الآن هل في أسئلة بخصوص Dart؟ هل عندكم أفكار قديمة تريدون، خلّينا نقول، مناقشتها، والّا بنمُر؟ بنمُر للcoding. أوكي، أوكي. أنا انقطع عندي الضوء. I wish internet connection. I don't know. wait شباب. hello شباب. sorry. باظن إنه just الفانوس هو اللي قطع. أوكي. آآ الآن هل في أسئلة شباب؟ hello، موجودين والّا؟
مرحبا ياسر. واضح ياسر تقدر أكمل.
أوكي. ال أوكي. نستعمل Dart generally of course. أنتم الworkshop راح يكون يعني اليوم Dart، بكرة راح يكون معاه محمد فلاتر. هاك عزيز؟ أوكي. فأنتم محتاجين الinstall of the Flutter SDK. هو طريقة الinstallation سهلة، أو تستطيعوا I do share الscreen. بتشوفوا screen؟ لأ؟ ألو؟ أوكي. hello again. Okay. uh, I I click to restart الbrowser. بعدين ما okay you now yes. okay great. خلّينا نقول الخطوة الأولى. نحن نحتاج في flutter للinstall of الSDK. راح تلقاو الinstallation of Flutter depend على الoperating system. أوكي install. ففي Windows I think there is الzip file راح تقوموا بتنزيله، بعدين راح تعملوا path variable للflutter. أوكي. وفي في اليونكس أيضًا في I think commands. حقيقة اليونكس ما عندي زمان ما اشتغلت عليه. في الMac OS also أوكي. هذا راح يعطيكم كل الinstallation. هو في خلّينا نقول هو خلّينا نقولوا قبل بكرة يعني راح تستحقوا الflutter SDK للboth. هذا إذا تريدوا إنكم يعني you install على your machines. إذا أنتم يعني في other solution اللي هي الdartpad. هي تخلّينا we execute code online. أوكي. للDart. It's clear شباب؟ أوكي. بريد يكون في تفاعل لأكون مطمئن إنه ما صار خلّينا نقول عند قطع للإنترنت أو للmeet. أوكي. يعني عندي one screen. أوكي. So الinstallation I think it will be easy. إذا أي حد يعني لقى إشكال في الinstallation بيستطيع يتواصل معي في الخاص أو مع عزيز. أوكي. لأنه الinstallation راح تاخذ شوية وقت، فما بدنا نضيّع كل الوقت، لازم نتطمن إنه الenvironment عندنا في الlocal it's okay. We can do Flutter Doctor and we check that everything is okay. Okay. There is an installation للSDK الFlutter اللي هو ضمنيًا فيه الDart SDK متنازل معاه automatically. أوكي. والنقطة الثانية إنه every platform يعني it need some specific installation. For example, if I want to develop my app on Android target platform لأنه نعرفوا إنه Flutter يقدم لنا one code base ل 6 platform stable اللي هُم Android, iOS, web platform, macOS, Linux وWindows. إذا أنا عايز I target الAndroid platform ضمن هذا في مشروعي for example I should install الAndroid SDK. Okay, and there is some other steps that are clear when you do Flutter Doctor. There is another command to execute. لو عايز iOS I should install Xcode. أوكي. بالنسبة للويب ما في إشكال. بالنسبة للويندوز اللي هم يشتغلوا على نظام ويندوز أو لينكس أيضًا يستحقوا في there is an installations. أوكي. بالنسبة للويندوز there is الvisual studio. هذا للفلاتر. بالنسبة للدارت نحن راح نقوم بconsole application ولا نستعمل الدارت باد زي ما أنتم عايزين. أوكي. so بعدين لو بدنا نشتغل على الlocal machine يعني تبعكم راح if there is 3 main options خلّينا نقول. في 2 متشابهين بنسبة 100% نظرًا إنه الشركة المطوّرة للeditor والّا الIDE هي نفسها اللي هي جيت برينز اللي هم اندرويد ستوديو والانتي ريج اي دي. هناك راح تقوم بال there is plugins and you search for Flutter. Okay, when you install Flutter it will install Dart automatically. Okay, انتوا راح تقوموا بالانستليشن من الماركت بليس. بالنسبه للفيجوال ستوديو كود the same but it's called extension. Okay, there is extension, you install Flutter and of course Flutter will get you مع الدارت. واضح الى حد الان؟ وبتقدر بعد تشتغل على فلاتر والدارت. اوكي، بالنسبه للبروجكت اذا انا شخصيا استعمل اندرويد ستوديو. اذا انت عندك عندك رام اكثر من خلينا نقولوا 8 جيجا بايت، هو من المستحسن 16 ليكون يعني البروجرام مرتاح بالنسبه للاندرويد ستوديو والانتيليج. فانا بنصح بيهم شخصيا، يعني يعجبوني. لو الماشين يعني ضعيفه يكون من الاحسن استعمال فيجوال ستوديو كود. اوكي، على الاندرويد ستوديو I can create new Flutter project here and I don't choose Flutter, I choose Dart. النوع الابلكيشن اللي راح نفهم بها الدارت اونلي لها علاقه باليوزر انترفيس كلغه برمجه بحته، هي كونسول ابلكيشن تكون احسن وسيله. اوكي، راح نسميها جي دي اس سي، خلينا نقولوا جي دي اس سي بس. اوكي، نختار البروجكت لوكيشن. اوكي، I will let it like this and create the project. اوكي، project راح يكون simple. راح يكون في pubspec.yaml، هذه extension هي behind the scene it use JSON. هي خلينا نقولوا بطاقة تعريف البروجكت. there is a name, there is description، في dependencies اللي راح استعملهم لو انا استعمل dependencies. example dependencies, there is HTTP for example, there is I don't know إذا أنا على بلاتفورم معينة استحق local database بضيفه. for example if I working بفلاتر، بالطبع الفلاتر بروجكت هو دارت بروجكت بس فيه إضافات أكثر، في أكثر dependencies في الفلاتر اللي هو framework etc etc، ولكن البيس هو نفسه. اوكي، there is الفايل اللي نقدر نسميه main.dart ولا هنا نسميه باسم البروجكت، ما فيش اشكال. most important هو هذه الفانكشن الفويد main، نقطه الانطلاق تبع البروجرام. و there is pubspec.yaml، هذم التو فايلز يعني خلينا نقولوا المين فايلز اللي اي بروجكت دارت should have. بالنسبه للدارت باج هو of course work same behind the scenes، بس هو مجعول to do some small tests. يعني يعني هو يعني simplify the process for you, give you one file Dart. there is other templates خلينا نقولوا اكثر مش تعقيد ولكن اكثر فيهم اكثر كود وفايل ستراكشر اكسترا. لماذا فتحت على اندرويد ستوديو؟ لانه راح نشوف الستراكشر اوف ذا فايلز. هذا بالنسبه للبيزك بروجكت كوماند لاين بروجكت بالدارت. اوكي، هذا هو. If I have some dependencies, in this case there is not, we only use Dart. We should have a pub get this button, or simply with the terminal do flutter pub get. Okay. هذا بالنسبة للباب سبيك دوت يعمل. في حاجة مش واضحة الباب سبيك دوت يعمل؟ عندكم أسئلة بالخصوص؟ اوكي. So هذا لينك اللي ما عنده الانفايرمنت انستال can be used that اللي راح نسويه على الاندرويد ستوديو can be يعني doing على الدارت باد، ما فيش مشكله في حالتنا اليوم. اوكي. بالنسبه للدارت بروجرامينج لانجويج، خلينا نقولوا هي سي لايك لانجويج، يعني ما راح نشوف اختلاف كبير في السنتكس تبعها، وراح تكون يعني سهله، ما راح تكون في خلينا نقولوا معقده، الا اوف كورس في some exception اللي راح نحاول يعني نمر عليها اليوم. اوكي. الانتري بوينت تبع اي بروجرام دارت ابلكيشن اكسترا هو الفويد مين. اوكي. البوينت 2 هو خلينا نبداو باول حاجه هي how to declare variables in Dart. طريقه سهله. Dart gives us two possibilities، يا اما باستعمال اسم التايب for example int للانتجر let's say x and we give it 0. اوكي. هذه طريقه كلاسيك like C language Java etc. If there is another option here var x let's say Greg and 0 for example like this, and of course Dart is strongly typed فهو راح يكون هذه of type int. اوكي. اذا انا for example I want to give a string فما راح اقدر، مش like JavaScript for example. اوكي. مو معنى var هو ياخذ اول تايب انت you assign to it. اوكي. هذا بالنسبه اوكي يس clear. اوكي perfect. So هذم الديكلاريشن. بالنسبه للتايبس عندنا الانت، عندنا دبل، معنا فلوت في الدارت. اوكي. دبل هو بيكون الارقام الارقام اللي بالفاصل، وطبعا الانترفال تبع النمبرز اكبر مثل other programming language، ويكون بالبوينت كسيبريشن between ال two numbers. Okay. Other point, there is of course string, and string start with خلينا نقولوا الحرف الأول يكون capital letter. اوكي. وبنستطيع خلينا نقول like codes. We can use simple codes, one code, or double codes. في الحالتين هو it knows that it's like string. Okay. حالة for example we did like var like this. هذا very simple. Okay. There is not a table table like I don't know Java or see like this. I don't know, table. We do like this. There is not in Dart. There is only a list. A list is table and at the same time the collection. A list of, I don't know, string. Okay. There is a type in Dart special, somewhat of like C and Java. It's called dynamic. Dynamic can accept anything. Okay. And for example, if I want to give it now a string, it can accept. Okay. But it's not recommended to use dynamic. It exists, yes, but بنحاول ما نستعمل dynamic type إلا في الضرورة. For example, if I have إذا عندي أنا list of, for example, strings and integers and doubles and I don't know many. Okay, I can use dynamic. We prefer not في الموديلينج للobjects. There is some cases اللي we use dynamic always, like if we have a map it's a key value pairs. For example, I want string and dynamic وبيكون بهذا الشكل. Maps are with this curly braces. Okay, I can have this like this example. Okay, of course everything like I said can be with this sample codes. هو في الأصل نحن بنستعمل one code. فإذا كان في وسط السنتنس string sentence there is for example I don't know one code فنستعمل الدبل. Okay, but by default إذا for example I want to like be like that, like X with a simple code and simple code in any string, I use double. But otherwise, I use simple codes. Okay, هذا about variable declaration. Dart is oriented object programming language. فطبعا نحن عندنا الكلاس. اوكي خلينا نفترض ان راح نصنع an object of person ولا class person وراح نعطي attributes properties لهذا new type راح نسميه person. راح نعطيه name last name for example and an age for example to do simple. And we can give it string job. Okay. إذا لاحظنا إنه there is an error, and if we read the error يقول لنا إنه non-nullable instance field name must be initialized. شو معنى هذا الكلام؟ ترجم بالعربي ممكن. يقول هذا الفاليو هو ما it not accept null وانت if you don't give it a value initialization فراح يكون في null وهذا شيء متناقض. اوكي ليش؟ لانه الدارت give us يعني خلينا نقولوا من version 2 of Dart، وهذا هو تحسين واوبتمايزيشن للدارت لكثير اسباب. Every type when I write int like this or string cannot لا يقبل null value إلا إذا أضفت له نقطة استفهام. في هذه الحالة بيصير accept null values. فهنا for example name إذا هو accept null فراح يعطيه null value by default. أوكي. من المستحسن إن we try do not use null types every time. We should use it of course if for example in a person, I don't know, the job, it's like it's not required, it's optional. Okay, we in this case it's a string can be null. But if I know when I model my models that name cannot be null, I don't let the possibility of null. Why? Because of an optimization reasons. When the compiler start to خلينا نقول compile الابليكيشن, every time there is a null type, فهو مجبر انه يقوم بتشيكس لكي ما يصيرش خلينا نقولوا problems في البروجرام و throw null pointer, يعني خلينا نقول exception. اوكي، فوي جيف الدارت تيم ولا المصممين في الدارت الهاند تو ديفلوبرز اللي ينقصوا من قدر المستطاع من النول تايبس. اوكي، فهذه اوف كورس اختراع ما قاموا به دارت، هي موجوده تقريبا في all modern programming language. ف we should respect. اوكي، واضحه نقطه النول nullability ولا احتاج افسر اكثر؟ yes yes of course, and that's the point راح نجيها في ال تو okay. Here we choose that the name and last name and age is not nullable, the job it's nullable. Okay, we did a constructor like many C language. We give only the name of the class, and this is a constructor. Okay, for example, if you use for example Java, إذا أنا I want the default in this case constructor that there is a name, a last name, an integer here, another things, etc. And I did like this one dot name equal a name, get name, this second name, sorry, last name, call it last name, and etc. etc. Okay, and this is like boring somewhat, so and job. Okay, we feel like here انه how to explain في كل مرة أحتاج إني I write more code. فالدارت والفلاتر تيم قرروا إنه I can reference those variable من الكونستراكتور. ما فيش مانع، يعني I call them and will assign them automatically. Okay, so here it should be age. Okay, but this dot age and this dot job. Okay, واضحة نقطة الuse of this directly من الكونستراكتور. I can يعني أختم ال constructor definition like here ال point وال عزيز point virgule بال I don't get okay semicolons. Okay, I should end my line with semicolons. Okay, every class in Dart Okay, it's similar to Java. It's automatically extend an object. If I don't have another extent, okay, it's automatically extend an object, and the object is defined by toString. Okay, and also an equal خلينا نقول sign. Okay, and this is override. Okay, I generate the code, but like this يعني بيكون عنا this kind of. Okay, خليني I simplify syntax. Okay, and here do return. Okay, why there is like those هو بيقول إذا أنت عاوز تستخدم الايكوال يكون من المستحسن انك you implement الهاش كود. Hash code, like in many programming language, it's like auto generated, and I can customize it. Okay, but it's not like very important today, but you should know that every class in Dart have to string. For example, here toString like this one. Generally, we use it for debugging, for example. Okay, to print when I print a person, I should not every time like do a person name print. I do print person, and it will print this string. We can try this part. Delete this. Okay, and create a person. خلينا نسميه person, and okay, maybe many of you say there is the new keyword in that it's not required للنقص البوilerplate. if I do person like that, so it will be good. It's an instance for a person. This is our object person with small p. I give it a name. Okay. Okay, for the autocomplete, I use an AI tool, so don't worry to make things do faster. And the job, let's say student. Okay. When I print the person, okay, there is toString executed, and I can log my object. Okay. Here, equal sign, it's comparing all the properties one by one. If let's say every property is equal to other property, so they are equals. For example, if I do person2, I give the same value. Okay, and create another variable core are equals, and then person equal to person, and then I print are equals. Okay, I should here get true. Okay, if for example I change the value, so it will be of course false. Okay, about the hash, generally the best practice, we use something called object that hash, and it accepts a lot of parameters. Generally, we do like name and last name, age, job, etc. Will generate a hash. A hash is generally hashing a variable to like unique integer. Okay. Generally, we use it, for example, to detect if something changed or something like that. But good practice, we use object.hash and we hash all properties to compare and do not duplicate variables. Okay. واضح بالنسبة للهاش كود وال to string equal operator. Here they are separate, so just the IDE. When I write two, so it like make it a big equal, big equal. Okay. Uh, is all of that clear until now? Okay. Maybe there is something in this screen. I think it's not very clear, and I know that. شباب معايا ولا إذا فما حاجة مش واضحة مثلا في اللغة ولا معلش you can say يعني مفيش مشكل بس بنطور لو استعمل for example too much English. hello شباب. Okay. So the point اللي some different of other programming language هي الجيت. Okay. There is الgetters and setters في يعني ال OOP. فin Dart إذا I want to like suppose that I have like say string get for example the job. Okay. And suppose that this job is private. Okay. I do like this, like that. Okay. Of course, should be a nullable string. Okay. There is the same for set. And I can declare like this way. Okay. هذا بالنسبة للgetters and setters. Other points هو عادة نحن إذا we create a model presentation for example here person, user, etc. We don't use getters and setters. We generally just make it public. Okay. And use them directly. This sign, when I make a variable with this I don't know I know the word in French tiré but underscore is when I did underscore like this, the variable it's automatically private. اوكي. هذا بالنسبة للدار. There is no word of public like this or private like this. اوكي. واضحة هذه النقطة. I use underscore to present a private variable. Private variable is something is visible only in this class. Okay. Of course, creating method in a class is like this. So it's very simple, like any C language. If it's there is no return type, so we use void. إذا عندها return type, so we use, for example, int or double, etc. etc. Okay. هذا بالنسبة للmethods, and we call them like here print person, for example, like person, print person. Okay. هذه الريزلت. بنمر other OOP principles that are used in that, of course, extent. Okay. I created a person. This is the type. I can, of course, use it in another file, another Dart file. Extension, it's the Dart. In the name in Dart, we use like person here. The first letter is not big P. Okay. So if the name is like composed, I don't know, person, let's say like a person, let's say worker, for example, I don't know. So we use the underscore between the two words, but the class name, it's with a big uppercase. Okay. So this is for the conventions and best practice, of course. So here I create person. I paste all the code here. So, and I import the person directly with it's very simple package. We are in package GDSC, the name of the project, and there is not a reference always for lib, because all the Dart code should be in lib. And then there is person.dart. Okay. A file can contain many, let's say, classes. It's not a problem if they are, of course, related. If not, they should be separated as a best practice. But Dart by default can in one file accept methods, separated method like in void. We can do, for example, void, I don't know, calculate, for example, and can contain classes like the example that we showed earlier. Okay. So now we can create, for example, let's say a student, another type. Okay, we can create a class student, extend person. Okay, sorry. And of course here, person requires some definition in creation. So like name, last name, age. So we should create the default constructor of the student and give and pass, let's say, those variables to the person or the creation of person. Of course, any creation of student, it will be creation of student of person with some other let's say attributes. So here string name, last name, age, and I pass them like this for others. Okay, so person name, okay. Okay, here because of the job can know what's the problem with name. Okay, so sorry. Okay. I forget to import the person. Okay, but Dart has created a new way to do not like declare them here and pass it to super. We can unure all of this and do simply super name, super last name, and super age. Okay, and super job. Okay, I can here let's say give the job a default value. We can assign it here, like can give it student. Okay, but this is syntax, it's not valid. Why? Because it should be let's say declared super job here, and we should look why there is requiring parameters and okay, in fact here we should give the job, but generally in Dart we prefer use this kind of syntax. We call it named parameters. So here, for example, in the example in main, we pass a variable with position. The first is the first name, the second name, the age, and the job. And either added any, for example, in this case, give a value to the job. So it will be خلينا نقول very difficult in term of syntax. Generally, how to work with named parameters, we do curly braces. Okay, but every variable in named parameters are optional by default. فإذا أنا حبيت make this variable required, I just add the required keyword. Okay. واضح؟ في هذه الحالة I should work like this. So first name I give it the value, don't know, second name, last name, okay, it's true. So age and job. This is the name. اوكي، بهذه الطريقة ما يصير في خلط بين ال variables. For example عنا name و last name و job they are all string, so ما يكونش في خلط فنستعمل named parameters. طبعا named parameters صالحة أيضا للmethods أو الfunctions، ما فيش إشكال. أي نوع يعني constructor، خلينا نقول functions whatever، بنستعمل named parameters. Okay, so في for example here خلينا تكون العملية أوضح. how إذا أنا for example I will do like super I gave name. Okay, here I do job. Okay, I give it student. By default the user of super dot name required super last name and required super dot age, and the job I can fix it. So a student is a person with a fixed job student. Okay, and this is make our code very clear. رأيت كيف كانت العملية معقدة، لأني إذا استعملت أنا الpositional arguments فأنا يعني ملزم إني I duplicate the code. I create a variable name في constructor last name age and assign them to the super. بالnamed parameters as others I can access them via the super. I can write less code. Okay, I do super.name to get the person name, the last name اللي هو في الحالة الستودنت والage. Okay, و I fix job to student. واضحة عملية named parameters أني إضافة كبيرة في الدارت مقارنة other programming languages، وراح تراوها كثير في ال when you use Dart. Of course we can mix. What I mean by mix, if for example can here say university. Okay, here the first one is خلينا نقول positional argument. sorry نقولها للستودنت. اوكي، والبقيه هما named parameters. ف of course positional arguments should خلينا نقول give it a value in creation. ف student here. Okay, the student I should give for example a p. Okay, and the others like the person example. Okay, واضح شباب؟ yes. application project. Thank you. Okay, Tawfiq, I think this question is okay. Should answer. It's not related to the session of today. Maybe we can contact me in private. I know you, so you can contact me in private. I can answer. The answer of this is will take more than 5 minutes, and it's like let's say out of today's session. It's not related to that programming language. They are architecture of an application. We can talk about them in flatter خلينا نقولوا session. Okay. We are here interested only مهتمين فقط بالدارت programming language today session. Okay. نمر other points in positional arguments للconstructor ولا function. We can use optional parameters like this. We use like we creating a table, this braces here, and that's all. This parameter is optional. Okay. Of course, any optional parameter should be nullable, and this is automatically okay. We pass to another Dart feature. If I want to create many constructors in Dart, there is not this kind of option. Okay, like in Java. There is another way. It's called تسمى named constructor. For example, if I want to create an empty, for example, user, I can do like this. Okay. And I can even use the other constructor. How? I can return a person like this and use a factory keyword. Okay. A factory constructor will create an instance based on another constructor. We give the default constructor this one as his name is like the class name. And if I want other constructors, I can do like this. Okay. I can create many of them. For example, another use case is from JSON, even the UI tool has recommended. JSON representation is that is a map, key value pairs of string dynamic, and I can deserialize from a JSON a person entity. Okay, so I should use the factory. Okay, of course I can use like, I don't know, type like this and do this dot name, this last name, this age job, and I don't need in this case the factory keyword. I require a factory is required when I create a constructor based on from another constructor for this type person. Okay. Of course, I can use it later with the super, for example, here, if I want to, let's say, factory students from JSON. I can let's say create don't know person and I can do okay. Here tell us that the super is invalid context of super invocation. Generally we don't use the super inside let's say another factory constructor. اوكي ف شخصيا بستعمل فلاتر ودارت منذ 4 سنوات. there is no need للاستعمال سوبر في other factory constructor. There is no need. اوكي هذه خاصية أخرى الدارت. another خلينا نقول nice feature في دارت هي استعمال functions is very simple. What I mean here by function, when I want to pass a function from let's say for example here void main to person, and I give only a reference to that function. Okay, a function is defined generally by its format. What I mean by format, the return type, if there is a return type, not a void, and what accept as parameters. For example, if I want to use a function like a variable, okay, and let's say for example okay, I want to detect every time that anyone print a person. Okay, so to do that I should pass a function to when I create the person. Okay, so I can call it onPrint, and it's a variable. Of course, can be nullable or not. So here okay, this onPrint. So when I create the person here, so I can of course I should like define this function. Of course the name I can change it on print2, for example, do not confuse. Okay, I should print person printed, okay, to track it. Okay, this is it's not real case, but okay, let's say to understand. Okay, so here the function, it's passed as a reference, so it's not executed, and it will be executed here when I use the print person. So here I can do like this. Okay, so I should, as it's nullable, I should test on it. So if print it's not null, so it's not null like this. Okay, so the IDE always create this kind of stuff. So what is نقطة التعجب هذه? Okay, here to say to the program that I'm sure that this is not null. If I use it and it is null, it will throw an exception. Okay, if for example I'm not sure how I don't want to do a test, I can do like this dot call, and this are the same, but Dart don't accept this syntax. So I should create .call. Okay, to understand that I want to create this call this function. Okay, so if I run, I will printed this one. Okay, this function that I can pass, of course, that the same like constructor can be passed through a method, like in print person here. I can change like this a function on print. Okay, and in this case it's not null, and it's not optional. Okay, and I should, sorry about that, remove this. Okay, so when I call onPrint, I should pass like onPrint2. Okay, and the same. Okay. Okay. Other point, those function can have an input and let's say output. For example, if I want to string a name, for example, so of course print person will be the syntax like this. What a function should accept is another string. So I should between sorry, parentheses, exactly. So I should let's say give the type. If there is many, of course I can use like string int, for example. But the function that should be passed, okay, in creating should have the same signature. Okay, it's clear if I do, of course, like name, last name, and age. So you can see the result. Of course, this function can accept also this kind of syntax. For example, if this is required, and required. Okay. So here, of course, should be like this too in a creation. So here is required string name, required string last name, and required int age. Okay, and of course here last name, age. Okay, so that's all, and of course there is the return type can, for example, return string here, don't know, like this. And of course here let's say, okay, it's not required because already void string, but العكس غير صحيح. For example, if I say like this, okay, it's pass, but because it's not like إذا كان العكس for example if this void and I pass it string, this is not, because void can, let's say, accept cannot accept anything. Okay, خلينا نرجع الإكزامبل. واضح إلى حد الآن؟ I don't know عزيز كم الوقت مازال. There is another important point. قديش مازال عندنا وقت؟ Okay, it's enough to finish with, let's say, futures. Okay, we finish with OP, let's say. There is another feature in Dart that I should speak about, and you will need it in Flutter. This is called futures. So suppose that I شباب لازم تركزوا في النقطة. maybe ال others are خلينا نقولوا حوايج كلاسيك ولا راح تحتاجوهم when you are coding وتنجموا you تبحثوا عليهم في نفس الوقت. ولكن الfuture principle استغلوا الوركشوب لتفهموه لأنه كثير مهم. إذا ما يكون في فهم معمق راح تلقاو صعوبة بعد في فلاتر and Dart. اوكي واضح؟ اوكي so hello Tunisia. So maybe stupid example, but I ran this code, so you can see here there is the execution is line by line, and it's all of that is علينا نقولوا طبيعي. Okay, in some cases you be surprised that خلينا نقولوا delayed duration, for example, here seconds, and print hello future. Okay, في الوضع الطبيعي راح يصير خلينا نقولوا لو بنفكر بنفس الطريقة العادية ولا خلينا نحسنوا الإكزامبل أفضل. We create a function that is of type future void print future and I'll call like this. Okay, think about it like any function that print hello future. Okay, we will end send after the other code. So when I execute print future, for example, and generally it should execute line by line, but the result, if we show together, it will be not in the same order. Okay, the last print is hello future. Why? Because in Dart, as generally in other خلينا نقول programming language اللي هما like Java, C++, لغات البرمجة الكلاسيكية أو C# by default. لما بنقوم بinstruction we suppose that print future is a heavy instruction يعني تاخذ كثير وقت. For example, establish connection to database, uh, I don't know, decoding an image, parsing خلينا نقول big like JSON object, etc. etc. ففي هذه الحالة في ال other programming languages بنستعمل another thread. كلنا بنعرف انه ال CPU contain many threads and many programming language give us the possibility to execute a code in other threads. Okay, so generally this heavy tasks we use run it on another thread, but Dart is by default one single thread. Okay, so everything in the application by default is run in one thread. So وهي الحقيقة this principle exists in JavaScript ودارت نقلوا ولكن على العموم Dart give us a possibility to run خلينا نقول multitasks, but multitask in Dart is very advanced and it's not in our session today and is something you should have experience to use it and is very different to classic multi-threading, but you should know that exists in Dart. But your code in JavaScript, if you use multi-threading that we call in Dart isolates, okay, it not will be working on JavaScript platform, let's say the web platform. Okay, فإذا عاوزين our program to work in 6 platform the same way, so we do not use isolates or we cannot call it threads, they called isolates, so it's not in the scope of our session today. But back to our example, so Dart use one thread to handle all the heavy tasks. It use asynchronous programming using the future type. It's defined in the Dart SDK. Okay, it's by default in Dart, so it's something native. It's not an external library or something like that. What are futures and how they work behind the scene? In fact, in Dart, the one thread have something called event loop. Every instruction we do, whatever our program is working, it's like an event. So when I do print, so the event loop will execute all these events step by step. But when I have a future, a heavy, let's say, instruction, the future, the event loop will let it wait until complete other, let's say, very priority events, and then back to this one. Okay. Generally, we use we do this technique, event loop, etc., when we are working with programming language that is optimized for UI. So why prioritize like, I don't know, print over print future, for example? Suppose that print is rendering of user interface, okay, and I should fetch data from server, and this take long. Okay, so I cannot block my all user interface until I get this result. So I can launch this as a future. When the result back, I can let's say show the result. Okay, so can do a small example. So this will return a future. Okay, about the future dot delay. So this is a simulation to a future. Okay, so here it will return a string. To get the result from the print future, I can do dot then. Okay, when the result comes and executed, I can print it. Okay, the value. There is no print here. Okay. Okay. Sorry. So then, it's print, not prints, and this is imported. You see my screen? Hello. Okay.
No, no.
No.
Okay. I don't know what happened, but the computer. It's okay.
Yes, now it's on.
Okay. Great. Okay, and this is hello future. The then. Okay. If I want to wait until this one, let's say complete, and then print hello world and hello Tunisia. So there is another syntax. Okay, of course I can do like this. So I wait, then I print, for example, like this. Okay, print the value, then print others. Okay, so but there is another better, let's say, syntax, and it's more clear. So I declare my function, whatever main here or another, so as async. So it will consider this function as a synchronous function. An asynchronous function, let's say it the same as a future. Okay, and then wait for the results by let's say saying await for print print future, or let's say let's change the name to get future to be more clear. Okay, so here we will have the same behavior as the other example. Okay, so it's logically true if I am let's say waiting for this. So I am, let's say, heavy task, an asynchronous task, the right keyword, but I used word heavy to understand what is the necessity of future. Okay, I should have an async type. Of course, if I remove the async, await can be used. Let's say the await expression can only be used in an async function. Okay, واضح؟ واضحة فكرة الفيوتشرز؟
تمام واضح.
اوكي. آه بظن اني okay, there is another type. It's similar, but it's somewhat different. It's called stream. Stream is خلينا نقول هو like many returns. If I want to stream a data, like I have like I will show 100 post, okay, and I want to get them let's say 10 by 10 or 1 by 1. I have poor let's say internet connection, and I want to stream this data let's say step by step, okay. So there is a type of stream. So here we can simulate it, and we can create streams if I am like want to create something like stream using the async and this Nijma. Okay. So to return in stream, we cannot use the return because return will finish the program. So we can use the yield. Okay. For example, hello stream 2, hello stream 3, and etc etc. Okay. So of course here we cannot let's say get a one value. Okay. So get stream dot listen here, whatever I get an event. خلينا نقول هو الريتيرن هذا. Okay, I can print the event. Okay. So as we wait for get future, so it's print in the second line, then go to this, of course, print it, then print hello world, hello Tunisia. Then the result of the stream comes, and show them one by one in the listen. Okay. Here an example of accepting what called the callback, the function that we talked about early. Okay. We can of course let's say extract this function to make maybe my code more clear. I can get let's say print as the signature of listen is a function that accepts string. Okay. There is the other methods, but they are not required. I can give the print and let's say printf to not confuse. Okay. And it will work with the same behavior, but this is to remember the passing a function to a function that will be executed by this program, and we call it a callback. For those who know JavaScript, the future is the same as the promise. Of course, the future has the on error. Okay, if there is an exception, in this case cannot have an exception, so we can have an error, and then if we have the result. Okay. Clear? Okay, any question about that? I think that I passed through the most important parts. Maybe there is some new feature like we have in Dart, it's introduced in Dart 3 records. Records, they are between parentheses and can be used to return many types in one function. Okay. If I want, for example, to return like a string and an int. Okay, of course here should be string int. So, and return this record. Of course, when I call it, so I should like have AB and uh, get many function. Of course, this E and B. Okay, so of course, this is a way to do multi-return in Dart. Other point, the strings, when I use variables, there is the dollar sign. This for let's say a variable. If a variable is composed like let's say p dot, I don't know, runtime type, for example. Okay, I use this curly braces. Okay, and that also support concatenation, like in Java, for example, like this. But it's not خلينا نقول مستعملة كثيرا وغير منصوح بها as with the dollar sign everything it's خلينا نقول clear. اوكي بتمنى يكون السيشن واضحة واستفدتوا، وإذا عندكم أسئلة أنا بيان سور على ذمتكم. Library that
Thanks
you
for your time, Mr. Yes. Great session.
اوكي، أن نعطيكم resources للفلاتر ككل. شنو تقصدوا على الريسورس بتاع السيشن هذه ولا ريسورسز اون جنرال؟ معناتها جنرال. اوكي به wait just شباب، معلش قديش استفدتوا سيشن اليوم؟ هل hello اوكي سو هذا الريسورس، هذا الفلاتر ليرن. thank you شباب. so I share the screen again. So share. هذا لينك اللي حطيته في الديسكشن، قاعدين تشوفوا في السكرين. هذا about Flutter ككل. اوكي، ف في الفلاتر you scroll down, there is the beginner level here. Okay, so let's get started. You can use the dartpad as I said. Use the installation guide for installation. Get the Flutter docs will explain خلينا نقولوا how documentation work. This is some simple demos. Okay, and there is the Dart for that. So this is all the documentation about Dart. So there is the syntax basics, variable operators, commands, metadata. It's very clear. Types, and of course there is other tutorials in YouTube. Personally, I learned that not from tutorial, generally from documentation, and it's look like many programming language, so I feel it like simple. I didn't need to learn it خلينا نقول tutorial as a full programming language. لما استحق يعني some tool ولا syntax, I go to the documentation and everything is okay. ولكن you should understand the basics على الأقل اللي هما الأشياء اللي تعرضنا لهم في الوركشوب. فلما تبداوا فلاتر بكرة مع محمد بتكون العملية أسهل. For example future شيء مهم ولازم تكونوا فاهمينه بالكدا. أوكي. كيف بالنسبة للstreams for example. كيف بالنسبة للpassing functions like giving function as خلينا نقول reference. كل هذه الأشياء هي اللي تكون ال Dart code. Okay, maybe there is something I forget about it. هما ال abstract classes. If you know the interfaces in Dart, in Java, for example, there is no and interfaces in Dart, but there is only abstract. If you wanted like خلينا نقول a full like an interface, so like this interface, let's call it, the name is interface here, huh? Do not confuse. So for example there is void print, I don't know, void move, etc. Okay. Here to make things clear. واضح شباب. There is no and of course there is the implements. Here we can use it like what I give the name interface. Okay, and I should implement those. So there is no big difference with other oriented programming object-oriented programming languages. Okay, so I should implement the move and the print. Okay, so in Dart there is I can implement many, let's say, abstract classes, but I cannot extend many. I can only extend one type. Okay. I should mention this part. واضح؟ Okay. فما أسئلة آخرين؟ I give my LinkedIn profile في ال discussion for anyone want to contact me. It's a pleasure. So usually I'm active in LinkedIn. So this is about the resources. Okay, guys.
إيدك.
إن شاء الله تصبحوا على خير.
شكرا ياسر
Thank you,
على
Yasin.
المحاضرة، وشكرا فريق EPI على المحاضرة، وإن شاء الله على المحاضرة القادمة نلتقي.
إن شاء الله.
وتصبحون على خير.